When we speak about Draymond, he finished with 9 combined points, rebounds, and assists last night. Folks, that's not good. Not even close to good. It was the first time in his career that he started a playoff game and finished with fewer than 10 combined points, rebounds, and assists. And take a listen to what he said about the Boston crowd after the game.
No, they're just talking. It's not really my job to react to them. So they did what I expected.
How do you feel you played?
Like,
say what you want to say. He's honest, and you got to love that about him.
Yeah.
What went wrong for you, Vince, for Draymond in Game 3? Pat Bev saying he was emotional, he had the emotion, but he wasn't channeling it in the way he needed to.
And that's the thing. It's a fine line. I think when he plays with emotion, and sometimes when he is emotional, he also is aggressive on the offensive end. And I think they need him to be aggressive on the offensive end. And what I mean by that, in Draymond terms, meaning attacking the rim, maybe not always scoring the ball or shooting. We need him to shoot the ball when he's open, being aggressive, getting downhill, if either laying it up or making plays, because on some of those dribble handoff keeps, he gets layups. Well, it keeps the defense honest, and now that sets up open shots. I thought Clay played well. I thought Steph played well, but they needed those extra baskets, particularly in the fourth quarter, to really get them going. And I think once he kind of got in foul trouble, it took some of the steam and the fight out of him. Yes, he's aggressive, but he's trying to stay on the floor. And as you said, he got his sixth foul because he was trying to protect Steph down there at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, good point. So what kind of bounce back do you expect from Draymond in Game 4?
I mean, he's a champion. He's Midwest guy, so I don't think it's going to be a letdown. I just think that he's going to show up when the time needed. I don't know, and every game presents something different. But with Draymond, it's just playing quick, playing with very, not being emotional, having them getting their sets, playing quick in transition. I mean, these are all the things Draymond does, and getting in foul trouble, not catching your rhythm, getting some techs, getting into it with Grant Williams early. Yeah. That's what Boston loves. You're Boston, you love that. So.
Vince, let me ask you another question here as I look at it. When I saw the game last night, you know what I saw? I saw a lot of athleticism, a lot of size on Boston's end, and I didn't see a lot of that, because there isn't a lot of that, on Golden State's end. Is there too much put on Draymond Green to really handle all that size, all that work inside they were doing last night?
Golden State has shown that they can handle it, though. And they sometimes – what Golden State has done in Game 2 in the win, they took away the athleticism by being aggressive. They were the aggressors. They hit first, and Draymond set that tone. In Game 1 and now Game 3, Jaylen Brown, first and foremost, set the tone by being aggressive. When Jaylen Brown and Tatum are getting downhill, they make the game tougher for Golden State, but they make the game easier for Boston because they're able to open up shots or easier shots or wide open shots for their teammates. And you see Jaylen Brown was pushing guys off. He wanted the ISO to get into the center of the paint, either to score for himself and create for others. And then once he got going and others got going, the game got easier for him. Then Jason Tatum, by the way, the star of the team, got going as well. So, I mean, that was a difference for them. They used their athleticism, but they were aggressive early. They set the tone. Like the first play of the game in Game 2 was Draymond getting into Al Horford and just saying, this is what we're doing. We're taking away the swing pass. You're not getting easy looks. Well, in Game 3, Jaylen Brown said, no, I'm setting the tone by my aggressiveness, getting downhill, and everything will follow.
It's so interesting in this series with these great teams, seeing the adjustments they're making game to game, because they're doing it unlike any other team can do in the NBA.
And that's all coaching, too.
Yep, and that's also why they're in the NBA Finals. All right, let's play a little game of blip or trend, shall we? And let's start with you, Pat Bev.
Okay, here we go.
Clay scored 25 points. Blip or trend?
Trend. I think that he started off very aggressive. Actually, I credit Looney, who's been, Looney gave him his first open three-pointer yesterday. He felt good about that, so I say trend. He shot the ball very well last game.
All right, Vince, Boston at 15 offensive rebounds, destroyed the Warriors on the boards. Is this a blip or a trend?
I think it's a trend. I think Boston understands that that's how they can win games because the threes will get you extra possessions and open shots. And that's what's been, the Achilles heel and hurting the Golden State in this series is that Robert Williams is feeling a little healthier. He's still banged up, but he's healthy hitting the glass. Grant Williams hitting the glass as well as Horford getting fouls and open threes. So it's definitely a trend.
Robert Williams, unsung hero of last night, 4 blocks, 10 rebounds. All right, so Pat Bev, no text for Draymond last night. Is this a blip or a trend?
No, it's a blip. I think, yeah, that's a big blip.
Right.
I think how this game is, what Boston sees. Obviously, coaching, they have put some stuff in after the game that, show the referees what's going on. I think they going to be looking at Draymond, and any little thing Draymond does, he probably gets a text from now on. So.
You know what I have to say? The one thing about Draymond, I know he always walks that fine line. The game is just so much more fun when he's walking that line towards text. We'll see what happens in Game 4. All right.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.